Hey, what's happening, everyone? It's your boy, the 10 month review side, 10 Tigers 01, the Big Old Dragon. I'm here to bring you your Anthem Impact wrestling review from, I believe, July 8? Just a moment. July 6th, I believe. Hold on. No track of time. Sorry about that. Alright, yeah. July 6th, 2017. Right? So let's get right on it. This is the Slammiversary Fallout show. Okay. It starts with an LAX segment, they're just kicking the playing some poker, whatnot. And Conan says before tonight is over, the newest member of LAX will be revealed. Next. Slammiversary recap. It's done very well. There was a slightly new opening video. It starts with El Patron coming out in like formal clothing, if you will, with tie and all whatnot. Comes out with Dos Caras and how do you pronounce it? El Hijo del Dos Caras, or El Hijo del Dos Caras. So JB, Josh Matthews, and the Pope were back in commentary. At first, I was like, why? So, confetti flies in the ring. El Patron says tonight they party, basically. So he introduces El Hijo del Dos Caras as the newest member of the thing, of the Impact Wrestling roster. And introduces his father as well. He puts over the main event of the Slammiversary. Puts over the main event of Slammiversary as the hardest fight of his life, and calls Lashley a tough son of a bitch. And now he says for the rest of his life he respects Bobby Lashley. But says El Patron's undisputed champion, and says every single wrestler has a chance to challenge him. Lashley comes out. He gets a mixed reaction because there are people who are cheering for Lashley more and more. Lashley calls El Patron an egomaniac, and says, oh, he was like acting pissed off, like when I was the champion, I don't have any celebration and what confetti and whatnot, and he goes over he knocks the champagne off the table and whatnot, that was good, and he knocked something off the table, that was good, frustration and whatnot, and says you're celebrating due to a fluke win, and that's what's causing you to celebrate a fluke. That I would be embarrassed. And says, is El Patron family still allowed to be there? And okay, now and here they go a bit edgy. Not only will I beat you, but I'll build a wall around your family to keep them out. I'm like, okay. No, I'm like, whatever, man. It's acting, it's pro wrestling, whatever, man. Dos Caras slaps him. Referees come out to break up the argument. And El Patron says he'll fight right here, right now, bitch. But, we'd get that in the main event. You know what? Good start. Good start. It would make sense for Lashley to come out pretty much almost at the opening of the show. Hey, you won't buy a fluke. I invoke my rematch clause. I want a rematch right now. He's like, alright. So good. Next. So earlier today, they showed a segment from earlier today. JB, Matthews, Pritchard, and Pope were all in the room, and Pritchard said that, "Are you guys done? Are you guys done arguing? From now on, if there are any provocative comments, or if anyone lays a hand on anyone else, including you, Pope, you're going to be fired." So it's basically forcing them to work with each other. Well, loosely, if you will, they plugged up that hole loosely. Whatever, man. Okay, announcers indicate more changes to come between the next 6 to 8 weeks. Go to break, come back. Okay, then we get a non-title match: Caleb Conley versus Sanjay Dutt. So the highlights were Dutt, Snap, Hurricane Rana. Conley, the roll throughs smack, if you will, uppercut type smash. A smack. Conley the leg sweep. Conley's clothesline. I think he has second uppercut. Here's a sunset flip into the turnbuckles. Dot between the ropes kick. He hits a shotgun drop kick, flips from the buckles, and hits it flipping from the buckles tornado DDT. And he hits a splash for the 3 count to win. You know, decent match, I guess. But from the back, Trevor Lee ambushes Dutt. And he says, and just like that, your new X Division champion Trevor Lee. And then he leaves with the belt. So a new feud? Good. I like Trevor Lee. Leaves with the belt. Next. Mackenzie Mitchell backstage. We get Team USA type of thing, like, you know, Grado was back with Eddie Edwards and Veterans of War. And everyone's excited to be back. And calls themselves Team America, wave the flag or whatever, man. And someone on the side was shown doing squats. I don't know, like maybe that was Grado. Next. Eli Drake and Adonis come out. Go to break. Come back. So Eli Drake, Chris Adonis, Falaba, and Mario Bokora, and Veterans of War were in the ring. Grado comes out and Eddie Edwards comes out. So Eli Drake starts with Wilcox. Wilcox follows slam on Drake. Mayweather, I think he hit an explosive suplex on Drake. VOW hit a team pop-up powerbomb on Mario Bokara. Adonis clothesline on Grado. Falaba suplexes Bokara onto Grado. Eddie's clothesline to Mario. Step up in the gear to Mario. I think the Falaba hits the crossbody block on Edwards. Then I think Eli Drake hits a slam. VOW hits a double team TKO move on Drake. Like one guy gets him in the fireman's carry, spins him backwards. The other guy catches the leg and drops down with him. But there was like a spot fest. A lot of at this point I could not catch up. But in the end, Eddie Edwards hits the BKP, I believe, on Mario Bokara for the win. Like whatever. But Joseph Parks comes out after that, and he comes out with like an envelope in his hand or with some papers in his hand, and Grado goes and hugs Joseph Parks, but Joseph Parks is like, yeah, that might be a bit premature. He said he has some papers, and he shows Grado some papers, and Grado like, oh, Sells being really disappointed and disheartened, and he's almost crying, and then leave the ring, and leave the ringside area. So interesting angle. We'll see where this goes. The match itself was meh. Go to break. Come back. Okay, next we get Matt Sydal versus Braxton Sutter. Guys, we got a lot of wrestling on this show tonight. Okay, so highlights are Sydal's arm drags. Sutter's gutbuster on Sydal. Sydal leg kicks. Sydal's jumping back kick. Sydal is an inverted DDT style leg drop. Sutter snap power slam. Sydal's back kick. And he hits a nice shooting star press for the 3 count to win. Yeah, very good enough, treating Braxton Sutter like a jobber, I like it. Pushing Matt Sydal, I like it. Sutter is not happy in the ring and walks out a bit angry and frustrated. Okay, we'll see. We'll see where this goes. Now they're starting to give more storylines to their other wrestlers. Good. Go to break. I'm like, could this be a lead? Could this lead to a thing heel turn? Could this lead to a Sutter heel turn? Come back. LAX hideout segment again. Conan says they're going to be bloodier and colder than ever. Next. JB in the ring. Now, he announces the Super X Cup tournament, which I like. The Super X Cup was something that Impact Wrestling used to do a long time ago, and it featured some of the better wrestling, and a way to give a lot of other talent tryouts. 8 competitors will enter, and some of the names here are good. Okay, the entrants are the entrants come out to the Impact music, and this is going to be an elimination style tournament. Okay, now here are the matchups. The round 1 matches are Sammy Guevara, I think it's from Cuba, versus Drago, who's from like AAA, or like I think he's from Lucha Underground as well. Okay, and yeah, there were Drago fans. Okay, then Andrew Everett versus ACH. And yes, I've not seen too much of ACH, but I've heard a lot about ACH. So I'm waiting to see his Impact debut. Okay. Then next we get Taishi Ishimori versus Davey Richards, and we got Desmond Xavier versus Idris Ibrahim. Next, so we get an Idris Ibrahim and Desmond Xavier video packages. Pretty good, nice. They're building up their competitors, with the video packages. So we get our first match: Desmond Xavier versus Idris Ibrahim. So highlights for Xavier's shoulder block, his backflip head scissors, Ibrahim dropkick, Ibrahim suicide dive. Here's a nice suplex to Desmond Xavier into the turnbuckles. Got a break. And there was some weird commercial shown with someone partying in Vegas or something. I don't know. Come back. Okay, Desmond Xavier's striking combination and quick cutter. Xavier's a nice bridging German suplex. He hits a European uppercut. Idris a discus forearm. Running basement dropkick. Xavier's sidekick. Backdrop. And hits a corkscrew drop on Ibrahim for a 3 count, which he later calls the final flash. Good match. Mackenzie Mitchell next. Mackenzie Mitchell backstage with Gail Kim. Kim teases a major announcement to come next week. Next, we get I think it's a Mari Fuji or Taishi Ishimori video package. One of these two. Go to break. Come back. So Desmond Xavier backstage here. He gives an interview and says Super X Cup brings the best in the world and he will win the match. And here he calls the finishing move the final flash. So next we get moves backstage with Mackenzie Mitchell, and says he'll face Mari Fuji next week for the Grand Championship. He's interrupted by EC3, who takes exception to this. And Moose says it doesn't matter who he is. EC3 needs to get to the back of his line. EC3 says he'll get what he wants. Next, Rebel versus Sienna. So this is most likely a nothing match. Rebel, it's go for a backhand, like handspring, a back elbow, reverse to a German suplex by Sienna. Sienna running Samoan drop. Sienna clothesline, Rebel clothesline, Rebel handspring clothesline. Then there was KM, Rebel attacks KM. But Sienna, I think, gets in the guillotine for a tap out win. Rebel was protected in a loss against your undisputed knockout champion. Why? Why? I didn't get it. Why didn't Sienna win clean if she's such a good unified champion? But I guess she won it in a dirty fashion as well. Go to break, come back. So we get to main event. El Patron versus Lashley rematch for the Impact and GFW World titles. And yes, it was announced that over the next few weeks there will be new belts that will be brought and will be presented to the champions. Okay, so this match, Lashley clothesline. For a good part of the start of the match, Lashley had the upper hand. Lashley sends El Patron over the ring rope into the outside. We get a break. Come back. Lashley hits a reverse STO. Patron's dropkick to counter spear. Lashley hits a clothesline to counter a neckbreaker. No, so I think Patron hits a clothesline. So El Patron backstabber hits a clothesline. Hits a 619, sorry. Lashley hits a nasty Dominator style powerbomb. El Patron hits the arm breaker. Lashley hits a nice spinebuster. Patron hits a double stomp to Lashley's back. Lashley counters the cross arm breaker with a neck breaker. So El Patron the trio of woe and Lashley goes on the top rope. El Patron throws Lashley from there. Then El Patron comes off the top rope and Lashley hit a nasty spear to El Patron. Lashley hits another big Dominator and like around this time Lashley was selling being very cocky. And the announcers were putting this over. Like, why is Lashley pinning him? So they're protecting Lashley again. This I like. Lashley was already protected in the win. I'm sorry, Lashley's that dude. Then Santana from LAX first attacks Lashley. It's a cross body block. Lashley catches Santana. And then the rest of the LAX ambush Lashley, which caused a DQ. So a DQ win for Lashley. But the title still remains with El Patron. We'll see where this goes. So they protected Lashley in this bout. Because after that, like the way El Patron was selling the spear and the Dominator, like he could barely stand up. It shows that Lashley was about to win. Conan says LAX takes over commences and says the newest member is Alberto El Patron. So, and that's pretty much where the show ends. Now they have some good stuff going, like following Slammiversary. This was a very good show to follow up Slammiversary. This wasn't like a great show. But it was a very good show. New storylines being developed, and new angles being brought in, and new context being put into your wrestling tournaments. Although, I was surprised why Rosemary was not here, but we'll see what happens with her next week. My overall show rating, I'm giving this show a 7.5 out of 10. And there's much to look forward, because this show sort of ended on somewhat of a cliffhanger, so there's much to look forward to next week. Next week you have, more of the Super X Cup matches. You have the Moose versus Mari Fuji, I believe, for the Grand Championship. You have what else do you have? You have the big announcement by Gail Kim and much more. So guys, that's about it. Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below, and I'm looking forward to comments and suggestions. Follow me on Twitter, TanTaga01. Hit that like and subscribe button. This is the Amsterdam 1, Tanvi Side, the Bengal Dragon, signing out.